Hey there, folks. I'm Claire, and I vastly overestimated our ability to record a podcast at 8 a.m. on the Sunday before Thanksgiving week. So, instead of a brand new, fresh Make That Game episode, you're getting a really nice but long refrigerated episode, just like a pumpkin pie. I don't know what I'm talking about, but this episode's going to be about pumpkin pie. Welcome to the first New Game Plus of Make That Game. We are re-airing episode 42, which initially aired in January of 2023. I thought this would be a great one to share again because it is from pretty far in the backlog, so many of you may not have heard it, and it definitely has a Thanksgiving feel. So please enjoy episode 42, Pumpkin Pie Production Line.
Hey there, everyone. I'm Isaac, and I'm internalizing thoughts of communism.
And I'm Claire, and I'm still a Snowboy champion.
And this is Make That Game!
Where we pitch the latest,
the greatest
new video game ideas
that aren't ever gonna get made.
Probably not.
Speaking of making video games, or actually talking about video games that will never get made.
Right.
Have you got one for us today?
I do.
Oh, Claire. Oh, pumpkin, or oh, perfect snowboy champion. I tried to make it.
Perfect pumpkin?
Yeah, perfect pumpkin. You know, perfect pumpkin snowboy.
I'm a perfect pumpkin. Okay. Yes, I do have a game idea to pitch to you.
Oh, good. Oh, to me specifically. Listeners, you heard her. Turn it off.
Yeah, turn it off. Skip ahead. This is just for... No, I'm kidding. It's not. I was like, please.
I thought something special was happening here.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
we can save that for offline.
Oh, okay. Let's get corporate. Let's use the corporate lingo. All right.
I'm sorry. I've gotten into meetings. I know what the lingo is.
I've gotten into meetings is a very good phrase. Yes, I've finally gotten into them. I've searched my whole life. I wanted to be in the room where it happens. See what I did there.
Oh yeah. All right. My game.
Yeah.
The working title is Cat Cafe Princess Warrior.
Okay.
And I'm going to say...
I've just invested $2 million into it. I just bought crypto to invest into it.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Which
I think...
actually is bad for your game, but that's what I did. Yeah,
so I think the best, succinct way to describe it, it's like She-Ra and the Princesses of Power meets Link's Awakening meets a cat cafe. Okay? That's what we're working with today.
Okay. All right, one of those things is a video game, so I understand.
Right. I'm going to jump into the story first. So it's not as built out. It could be built out more. But the idea is that in this world, cat cafes are like the castles for the kingdom.
Okay.
So they're like the hubs of each area of the land. Okay.
So each castle has a cat cafe.
Is a cat
yes.
Cafe. Yeah. And they're being bought out by some corporate entity, so it's very anti-capitalist. And so your job is to fight the entity to save the kingdom. So to basically travel to each cat cafe location, battle for its sovereignty, and then return to your home cat cafe to recoup.
So monarchism versus capitalism.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's my joke was catapultism. I tried, it didn't get there, but anyway.
Catapultism.
So, I mean, there's a little bit we could narrow down for the story, but anyway, the mechanics. It's basically, cats help you throughout the entire game. You are not a cat, though. I want to make that very, very clear. You're a person. But
now, do you have a magical girl transformation?
You could. I don't see why not.
Okay,
it's not part of it, but why not, right? But you're not a cat, and you're never going to be a cat in this game. Just want to make that very clear. But cats are a huge part of the game. They're basically all the other things you do. So they heal you by sitting on you and purring. So you can go to the cat cafes to heal. You gain battle experience by playing with them, and they teach you moves. So like scratch, jump, bite, hiss, etc. So you have to, the longer you play with the cats, the more moves you can learn. And if you play with different cats from different cafes, you can learn different moves.
Okay, perfect game. This is perfect game.
And then petting a cat can raise your energy. You're like, I guess, mana or whatever.
Okay,
and then
the second resource.
Yeah, whatever.
Health is number 1.
Energy.
Mana number 2.
Whatever, yeah. And then you get a cat that comes with you and grows in power with you and can battle also. So almost like your starter Pokemon, but you just get one and it's just your special little cat.
Okay. So very similar to like a D&D Ranger Druid kind of situation. D&D means Dungeons and Dragons.
Right. I don't know what a D&D Ranger Druid situation is.
Oh, they get animal companions.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, I guess you've never played with... I guess Druids don't get it anymore, but in earlier versions, their thing was...
Never ever tell Sophia that, our friend Sophia who plays a Druid, because she would be so mad she doesn't get one.
She'd instantly change to a Ranger, but anyways, yeah, that's a digression.
All right, so once you battle all of the... you save the kingdom, blah, blah, blah. There's post-game play. You can redesign the cafes. You can name all the cats. You can just, continue to explore and do collectibles. The collectible in this game is meet every cat.
Okay.
Which is tough. Okay. There's a lot of cats. Because there's going to be cats at the cat cafe. There's going to be cats just, wandering around. It's
hiding
it's cat.
in bushes.
Oh, yeah. It's everywhere.
Stuck in trees.
This is a little similar to the collectible or one of the collectibles in, oh my god, I can't remember the name of the game. I played this game, Chicory. I was like, I played this game a lot. I really liked it. So yeah, Chicory has one of the side quests is there's a cat who's lost all the kittens. And so you're just finding kittens constantly as you travel the world. So that's kind of similar to that, except this is just all cats, and kittens too, I guess, both. And then it's very designed like Link's Awakening. So top down, old school kind of vibes like that. You travel to other cafes, and in She-Ra, different cafes have different vibes. So water cafe, water level, or ice cafe, or, things like that where it's fun. Mountain cafe, I don't know, to kind of add to the flavor. But anyway, that's pretty much it. You're a princess. You're warring for the cat cafes. Cat cafe, princess warrior.
So what's the actual what's the moment to moment gameplay? Look like?
You're like Link's Awakening. So you're walking around.
Okay, so it's like a top down action kind of game where not like a turn based RPG.
No.
Okay. And then okay, so press A, it does attack. Press B, it does special attack that you've got equipped, or are there also going to be items or?
Well, I think special attack would be your cat companion.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Pounce.
And then we've got more buttons than A and B these days. I was stuck in a Game Boy mode. We can
Interesting.
Yeah, so okay.
It's going to be fine, is what I'll just tell you. It'll be good. It'll be okay. We'll figure it out. It's going to be good. All right. Well, do you have a game to pitch to me?
I do have a game to pitch.
Forgot what our show was for a second there.
Wow. It was so all right, my game is called Duck Ponder. Which
also
sounds
very good.
Like a better game idea than I actually came up with, and I didn't realize it until saying it out loud. Duck Ponder makes it sound like there's going to be a lot of pondering, a lot of philosophical things going on, but no, this is actually just an arcade style action location defense game, let me call it. So there's the duck pond. There are the ducks in it. You have to throw peas into the duck pond, and the ducks get happy, and they are friendly, and you love them, and it's a beautiful relationship. However, there are foxes, there are geese, there are people trying to bring bread to the duck pond, and you have to fight them off while also feeding the ducks. So, uh, they like you'll be at the park and they'll spawn at the edges of the park and they'll walk towards the duck pond, and you've got to run around and throw peas at them, and that defeats them, and then they like and run away. But you also have to keep in mind that the ducks get hungry, so you have to throw the peas into the duck pond. So not only do you have to defeat all these enemies that are infinitely spawning in increasingly harder and harder waves, you have to also manage your ducks' needs to keep them happy as you go throughout this game. And
Good.
then the goal is just to get the highest score. You buy upgrades with score and stuff, so like you can get more faster pea throwing, throw more peas at once, wider spread of peas, um, more nutritious peas, etc., etc. Um, and yeah, you just play until you are overwhelmed, which hopefully always happens. At some point, the game should just be like, all right, finally, you've got overwhelmed. Um, Other things that you could get are like companions that help you. Like they'll also run around with you and give you like extra shots and stuff, or like they'll automatically feed the ducks for you so that you can focus on defeating enemies. But they only last a certain amount of time, etc., etc. So, uh, 2D pixel art is what I'm thinking. In fact, as I'm describing this game, those who know are gonna know it's basically Vampire Survivors with a pond that you have to protect instead of just running around yourself. Vampire Survivors is a good game.
I don't know that game.
Yeah, well, we should. It just released for mobile a
Oh,
couple weeks ago, so it's back in the zeitgeist. It was
okay.
popular a couple months ago, like on Steam and stuff, and then it faded away. But it's
Just a
back,
couple months.
baby.
Just a couple months ago, it faded away.
I think so.
Huh?
Yeah, like people were big into it for a couple. It's like any video game. Like it gets 2 weeks in the sunshine, and then something new comes out.
Is that really the how fast that cycle goes?
Yeah, I feel like one of the games that like recently had like a longer thing in the cycle is Elden Ring. Um, but even that only had it for like a month and a
No,
half.
no,
No, you
no,
don't think so?
no.
Ah, maybe my memory's fuzzy. Maybe I have scrunched stuff too close together.
I think
Um,
so. I thought Elden Ring was like at least 3 or 4 months, where it was like in the cultural.
maybe listeners, hit us with your perspective of that cultural zeitgeist moment. How long Elden Ring stayed in the spotlight? Uh,
And also,
I'm trying to
what the
think of other popular
shortest,
games.
yeah, the shortest and the longest game you think stayed. I mean, Pokemon, I guess, is just like constantly in the zeitgeist, so we're not going to count that. So ignore that.
Yes, but I also feel like chatter about Scarlet and Violet has also already sort of died down.
Well, there's dying down of just general like chatter, but I don't think that like you can still go on TikTok and find videos
Oh,
of it.
okay.
I don't know, like I don't like it doesn't feel like it left the zeitgeist. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. All right. Well, that's interesting. And that could be a good question for another day, but Isaac, I have a question for you today.
You have a question for me? We've got a
Yeah.
Claire Asks a Question segment.
Ba-ba-da-da.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's hit me with it. I'm ready.
So
I'll
this
answer
question's
this.
it's about game dialogue, but coming from a certain perspective. So I guess what do you think is better, or the use cases for dialogue that has no sound? So just imagine like you run up to an NPC and there's just the text box and it just is the text, right? That's one style. Then one is kind of like the Animal Crossing style, where people are being like me 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 me. But I've seen that in other games too, where like they have some kind of like sound happening, but it's not language. So it like represents language, but it's not language. And then the final way is to have voice actors do the audio and act out the sounds of talking. That's what it
Okay.
does. So what I guess, yeah, it's use cases, and is there a better way to do it? Like, is there a best way, or is it just different use cases?
I think that there is different use cases more than anything. I don't think uh caveat, no sound is like, come on, it's 2023. You can put a little beep beep beep
Really?
beep 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 in your game.
Okay.
You don't need utter silence when text pops up. I feel like that is weird. It
That
freaks me out. It doesn't actually freak me out, but I don't think I've played a game that just has utterly silent like text
really
in a
isn't
bit.
that? Yeah. Well, so I guess I shouldn't say utterly silent, but I
Or
think
does Pokemon do that?
Pokemon does that. I don't think
Pokemon doesn't even have a little voice.
I don't think so. And then
I
also
think
like
you're right.
Turnip Boy, I don't think has voices. I don't think Link's Awakening does. I think it might have. So sometimes they have like sat like almost like a typing sound. Like Restless Soul does that, where it's like
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Right. Hmm. So this is actually very interesting because now, so this is one of those, so except for outright voice acting, this is one of those like background dressing features which probably aren't going to stand out in a lot of people's minds. But they are going to notice it, and it is going to enhance or possibly detract from
I
the
was gonna say
experience.
Dehance.
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 So like, if the game uses just a beep 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 beep, but it uses a poorly chosen one, like it's slightly too long, so like each, if it hits every letter, makes like a row noise, so it's like row 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 row. See, that's already annoying. It's loud. Like you notice it, and you're like, oh, I have to listen to this every time this character talks. Oh, this character is going to talk for the next 20 minutes in this like exposition scene. Cool. Turn off that game. But if it's got a nice subtle background touch, you can use it to give different characters a voice on a pretty small budget. So if you want a character to have a higher pitched voice and you want to like show don't tell that to the player, you can have them have a higher note that hits on every like text
Mm-hmm.
thing that they do. Um, you can have a deeper voiced character go deeper, or you can have every character in the game just use the same thing, and you know, whatever. You have options to go with that. Undertale does it where I'm pretty sure 99% of the characters in the game have like the same note, but certain characters have a slightly different note, and that's to show that these are like special characters.
Okay.
Not just normal NPCs, these are people that are important to the plot in some way, which I think is a cool little trick. Um, Full voice acting is kind of that like budgetary concern thing. Like if you're a AAA game, you better be full voice acting. It's 2023. You have hundreds of millions of dollars of budget, and you are adding butterfly catching to the game.
Is
that
that a call out to a game I'm not familiar with? That seems like a pointed note.
if it's a call out to anything, it's Skyrim. Not that it adds like full form butterfly catching, but it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, we've added 100 million insects that spawn into the environment, and you can catch them. You can run up to them and pull them out of the air. Anyways, I digress. Here's one dialogue sound option
Mm-hmm.
that you forgot. You missed the Legend of Zelda style, where either at the beginning of the conversation or at important parts of the conversation, the character will make like a noise. So like
Oh,
when you
yeah.
first open up, like when you walk up to a guy and talk to him, his text box will be like, "Who are you?" And like it will make a "huh" sound because he's like
Okay.
confused.
Yeah.
And then when you show him a bug, he'll be like, "Ah!" And but otherwise it'll be like silent, or maybe have a dee 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 sound going on
Yeah.
in the background. um I think Link's Awakening does the dee 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 sound, but I can't remember what like Breath of the Wild does. But most of the 3D games don't have voice acting, they just have we're going to give this character a voice by giving them like little sound bites, groans and grunts and short things. They aren't ever going to speak a language, but you are going to get a feeling for their personality and what they sound like.
Cool.
Cheaper than voice acting? Well, full voice acting, because you still have to hire someone to make all those groans and moans.
Or the classic Link. Ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's interesting that for me, I think what was interesting is you being like, oh, well, full voice acting is just a budget. Because I kind of hate it. I kind of, most of the time, I think the only time I don't is games that are way more, I guess the name of it would be adventure, like Life is Strange. There yes, it is.
I was about to help you out there.
Yeah, like Life is Strange, I like the voice acting. I think it adds to the game.
Yes.
I think it'd be really weird if that game didn't have it because it's so story-based that, I don't know, it just makes sense. I mean, they don't even have dialogue boxes. They have like subtitles because there's so much dialogue. So
right, it's more of a cinematic experience.
Right, so you need it for that. But in games like I even find it annoying in Animal Crossing that they do meep meeps. Like if it was completely silent when I read the dialogue box, I would be happy about it. Oh. Because the true facts is that I don't read at the same speed that I listen. So if something is happening while I'm trying to read, I read faster, but then the dialogue's still happening, and then I have to wait, and then it's annoying and it's confusing. Or if I can move the dialogue box on, right? So like someone's talking and they're saying, and then you click A, and so it's like, hi, welcome to, this is my shop. I sell, here, do you want, and it's, oh my gosh, that's so annoying. I hate that. So like, so for me, it's like, I prefer nothing for gameplay, like unless
silence.
Right. Or I mean, it could be the dots is fine. That doesn't bother me. But like, I don't mind the like that thing. That's fine because it's not going to impact my like reading ability, I guess. But yeah, when someone's talking at a different speed than what I'm reading, so it's not subtitles, which I think is probably also why now that I think about it, I like it in Life is Strange because it's subtitles, so it's going at the same rate as the person is talking. Mm-hmm. Whereas when it's regular dialogue boxes, the player controls pretty much how fast that's going. And if they don't, you can still read the whole dialogue and then just sit there and wait for them to finish their like voice. I don't know. That's where I'm at. I really like it to not say any what it was like action adventure. I don't know what kind of game that would be. Like where, like a Zelda, like a Kirby. Kirby doesn't talk. Never mind. Not like a Kirby.
Adventure.
Kirby doesn't talk at all. No.
He says Poyo.
Yeah, like a turnip, like a
yeah. Okay, well, yeah. Let's call them action adventures.
In that kind of game, I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear you. Nothing.
We're gonna have to replay Turnip Boy because I'm pretty sure they do have sounds. Not like voice acting, but I think it goes da 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 da, and I think they even have different sounds for different characters.
I'm not really talking about da 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 because da 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 is to me just sounds like a typewriter, and that's fine.
Okay, yeah. You're talking about full voice acting.
Well, or the me meeps. Me meeps are different than da da da.
Wait.
No, because da 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 is like a typewriter. It's like I'm typing out what's happening. The meep meeps is like someone's talking. That's different. Those are two different things.
Okay, so when you say meep meep, you are specifically talking about in like Animal Crossing when they pronounce the letters as they talk.
Yes.
Okay, yes, that sure. Okay, yes, that's a completely... I don't think any game does that except for Animal Crossing.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard another game where, like, instead of saying hello, the voice acting is HELLO.
That's what they're doing?
Yes.
I didn't know
They're literally just spelling out every word that they say.
Really fast?
Really fast, yeah.
I didn't know that was what was happening.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly that, but I'm talking, like, where they make, basically, like, it's almost like Simlish, right? Like, they make a sound that sounds like language, but it's not language. That's different than voice acting, but it's different than ticker tape typewriter sound to me. Okay. Well, yeah, so anyway, so I prefer, the least amount of voice act. Also, because sometimes you can get bad voice actors and it's annoying.
So, yes, Triangle Strategy, at least the demo, I played it on Switch, and they didn't have an option to turn off the voice acting, so I had to turn the voice acting volume down to nothing
I
because
remember this.
it was the worst. And it's from Square Enix, I'm pretty sure. They're big AAA budget Final Fantasy guys and ladies. Ladies can dev too, and everything in between, and
Wow.
everything outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
But they should have the money for someone to like at least listen to the voice actors as they're talking and go, "Hey, hold on, can we get a second take on that?"
That's always blows my mind when things get through, because it's not even the person who initially does something. It's that nobody fixed it. Like across every step, no one was like, I don't know about that.
So I think for at least some companies, I've read online that the process is basically that they send like the voice lines for a character out to the voice actor. So every voice line devoid of any context, they just give them a book of voice lines and they have them read it in a booth, and then they get those voice lines and then they cut them into the game.
Right.
So there's like, it's not like acting around a table where you can like feed off of another person. You're not even in like opposite booths.
But like you said, you can listen to it and say, I want to do it this way instead.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No. But like, so they send the lines. The voice actor does the lines. The voice actor sends the lines, recorded lines, back. And then at that point, when someone actually has to review them, it's too late. They already had the voice actor record all of the lines in a big batch.
But that's not too late. Like, people re-record all the time.
True.
That's part of voice
it might not be
acting.
worth. If you're a big business guy, and you just got, it took a week. You've got to release your game in six days. You're in crunch time. You just listened to the audio for the first time. It's going to take you a week to send your responses back to the voice actors and get them to re-record. No, you just press that release button. That's the what the problem is the game industry is, especially at the AAA tiers, is bad. If I see, this is, I wish that I had worked in the game industry.
Well, you do and you don't. When I met you, I was like, "Oh, you didn't want to." You were always like, "I'm never gonna get a job at a game dev like company because it would just murder your soul."
It would, yeah. No, the burnout rates are extraordinary.
Yeah. It's made to seem so cool, right? Like, it's so cool to get takeout at 8 p.m. and keep working on your passion, but it's like, that's not cool, and you're not getting paid overtime. So.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the problem. No overtime. Speaking of overtime,
yeah,
are you ready to not go overtime in the rapid fire round?
All right, so in the rapid fire round, we are going to generate 3 random words. We'll have 5 minutes to come up with a game based on those 3 words. We have to use all 3 words, and we do have to come up with a name for the game. Are you ready for our first 3 words?
I am, and I'm starting now.
It's Claire from the present, again. Hoping that you're enjoying listening to this really fun New Game Plus of episode 42, Pumpkin Pie Production Line. I did want to let y'all know that we are still streaming every month, and we will be streaming on December 22nd, I believe, if that's a Saturday. Nope, it's the 21st. December 21st will be our last stream of 2024, so make sure to check that out on twitch.tv/makethatgame. And I will be talking about AGDQ at the end of this episode from the past, but ADGQ 2025 is happening very soon, in about a month. They've already released the schedule, so definitely check that out. We love our speedruns on Make That Game, so we'll definitely be talking a lot about that marathon and games that we're excited about. Now, back to the show. Practical.
Okay.
Fiction.
Okay. Practical
Exile.
Fiction. Exile. Practical fiction, exile. Oh, man. I'm going to go off on a little tangent and burn some of our time. There's a game called Myst 3 Exile. Exile being the subtitle. It is a game about writing books, or so the game series is about like you write books and then the world inside the books comes to life and you can enter them. Uh, so that's practical fiction, is what that is, because you can write, I want fruit world, and then you go into fruit world and you eat the delicious fruit. That's practicality. So, anyways, what I'm saying is, we just made Mystery Exile. So if you're familiar with that game, let's move on. No, let's come up with something. All right, practical fiction exile. Practical fiction is a pretty.
It's tricky.
I guess we don't need to combine them into one thing, but I'm really stuck on it being fiction that is practical.
Yeah.
But even fiction, I guess. Fiction, we could just go easy and just be like, yeah, it's a fictional game. It's not a real event. It's not based on real events.
It's a bit of a cop-out, but we could take it if we need it.
And then if we go from that, it's just like practical exile. So you're a character that has been exiled. You're in a barren land or on a deserted island, and you have to survive.
Okay.
That's the practical
Here
nature.
We go. Here's the fiction part. Here's the fiction part. So all that, yes. But as you explore the island, you learn that like it's full of fictional characters that like you thought weren't real. Like Santa's there.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry, any children listening. I guess I just ruined broke the illusion. Santa's very real.
Yeah, that I thought that was a weird example that you used. It would be like, oh, all the fictional people are there. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Like, what?
He's real.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Anyways, so you're on the island. Okay, so this is set like in the real world, and then on this island you discover like a hippogriff flies overhead, and you're
yeah.
What?
Right,
There's a
but
dragon.
You have to practically survive. So it's a survival game, but like the fun part is it's just like, yeah,
there's
fictional
dragons
creatures
and stuff.
Yes.
So like you start off, you hunt some goblins, you get some better equipment, and as you get better equipment, you can hunt bigger fictional creatures until eventually you kill Santa Claus.
Yeah.
The king of real people who has invented this island using his magical real powers.
The king. Oh no, it should, what was his name? King Moonracer?
Yeah, Moonracer? I think something like that.
I look him up.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's
Moonracer, yeah.
Like he races the moon.
Right. King Moonracer.
What a neat little touch to that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer puppet movie.
Really opened the whole world. Anyway.
There is a name for this game.
There is a name. It's called Island of Surprise.
Island of Surprise. 1 minute and 15 seconds left. Island of Surprise. The wilderness survival game wherein you battle fictional creatures on a forgotten island until you can escape the island by defeating its king. I guess we made that canon. All right.
Okay.
The king is either Santa or Moonracer, and either of those options are good.
Are we ready for
round
our next
2?
Yes.
Ready, steady, let's get going.
Bang. Bargain. Dependence.
Okay. You have just come into possession of alien children. All right.
Oh no, this is like, what was the other one we just did? It was like Mac and Me the game.
Yeah, but this is different. This is different because...
All right, keep going.
Because they eat money. So you have to rob banks to feed them.
Okay. Because they're dependent on you. I see it.
They're dependent on you. The bank bargain is the bargain you get, is the money you get from the bank. It's really a bargain. You just walk in there, bang, and then they give you the money. That's a bargain.
I would argue that bargain is not. That's not what a bargain means, but I think it's allowed.
Okay. So yeah, you just have to rob banks to feed these alien triplets. I decided that they're
They're
triplets.
triplets.
And then they grow up to be big aliens and they absolve you of all of your crimes when they're adults
And
so that you don't have to live your life as a deranged bank robber.
That's the end. That's the end cutscene. Is all of your adult alien children blessing you and absolving you of your sins. Yeah, I like it. This is great.
Yeah, so the gameplay,
no notes,
you do heists. You just you do the heists with the big gun, and the heists are increasingly big because, as you go on a bank robbing spree, obviously the banks that you haven't robbed yet are going to up their defenses and make it harder and harder to heist. But growing babies need more and more food. So you have to rob bigger and bigger banks. You have to start robbing banks that already had top of the line security that have now doubled their security because you robbed all the smaller banks.
Wow.
And then, yes, once it's all done and over, you get blessed by the large alien children.
Okay, so we need to name it. Hungry, hungry aliens.
You got to incorporate the bank robbery part into it somehow.
Cha-ching. Yum, yum.
Cha-ching, yum, yum. Okay, wait, hold on. Yes, Cha-ching, yum, yum, the bank robbing game. And that's with 2 minutes and 5 seconds left on the clock.
Can't believe you went with Cha-ching, yum, yum. I thought
How could I not? Listeners, if you think Cha-ching, yum, yum was not the name, feel free to comment below. We will not get any comments saying that, so...
There you go. All right. Well, are you ready for our final 3 words?
I was born ready. In fact, I'm so ready, I already started it.
Oh boy. All right. Content.
Okay.
Colorblind.
Content, colorblind. Wait, content or content?
Ooh. Are they spelled the same?
They are. Content.
Yeah, so either way.
Okay, we've got a double word, baby.
All right. Colorblind and productive. Content or content? Colorblind, productive.
Productive content for the colorblind.
I think colorblind. So the way I see colorblind playing out is I want the game to almost mimic what it's like to be colorblind. So like, there's not. It's like a different color scheme, right?
Okay.
In most games.
Or it could just be colorblind friendly inherently.
Yeah.
So like a lot of games have like a colorblind mode.
Yeah, I mean that's cool too, but it's not as game mechanic-y, right? Like that's kind of just a cool feature.
That's true, but I feel like to truly be colorblind friendly, you do have to incorporate it into the design. I think it's a little harder than just pure color swapping. I think that there's still things that you have to do.
Well, a lot of contrast. It has to be different.
Yeah. So that could be a design element, but
okay, all right.
But either way, let's say
I want it to tie into the game. I guess that's all I'm asking. Is if that's it, is that it's just inherently colorblind friendly, then it should also have something to do with the game.
Okay.
Like colors, or I don't know. I guess I keep thinking of chicory, like painting something. I don't know.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to think because okay, so we need a colorblind person to consult. Mm-hmm. They need to be the sensitivity. There
are a lot
reader.
Of different color types of.
Yeah, like that's kind of like what does the experience of a colorblind person like look like to design the game around? So that's why I'm like kind of like trying to stray away from that and just being like, oh, we'll do it colorblind friendly instead, because like colorblind people chime in. Yeah. Let us know what a game from your perspective, like designed from your perspective, like should do or look like. But all right, let's say that we'll leave it kind of nebulous as to what exactly we're doing there, but we do have 2 minutes and 20 seconds left.
Okay.
We got to come up with Content, content, and production.
So, okay, maybe it's just like, it's very colorblind friendly game that you can play, and it's about making pumpkin pie. It's a pumpkin pie production line.
Did you choose pumpkin pie for any specific reason?
Because you called me a pumpkin in the beginning of this show.
Okay, interesting.
And
very
also,
cool.
Pumpkin pie production line is really fun to say.
Okay, pumpkin pie production line. And now, all right, now let's step back one step and be like, how do you make pumpkin pie production colorblind friend? Like, how would the colorblindness affect their job?
Well, it wouldn't. It's just the game is easy to play if you're colorblind.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah.
And then content and content is your boss needs to be content with the pumpkin pies you make.
Yeah.
Or
social
you make
media.
What?
Oh, I said social media.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Okay.
Specifically TikTok content. You turn your production line job into a content creation outlet, and TikTokers / commenters will judge how your pies turned out.
I love that. Yeah, so it's basically like, it's like a rags to riches story. You start out on the pumpkin pie production line, but you use that job to get tons of views because people are fascinated by your pumpkin pie creation. And
so number of factors go in here. You have to make the pies good, and your boss has to like the pies because you have to they have to be able to sell the pies. But also you have to be sneaky about taking pictures, and taking pictures is going to be Pokemon Snap style, where it'll have a rating which the viewers will judge. And the game is just called Pumpkin Pie Production Line
because it's so fun to say.
And that is it with 9 seconds left.
Woo! Wow, that was a close one. I like that this is our third social media game. I like that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is the same thing as the basketball apothecary game.
Right. Or
but with pumpkin pie instead.
The food advertising game also was very similar to this.
Oh, I forgot about that one, but yeah. Hey, we love social media. Hey, that's the rapid fire round. We got to work with what we got, so we have to tread familiar ground.
Oh,
that's why we have so many Learn 'em Up kids. That's why it gave us the literal sequel to a previous game.
Yep, that only happened one time though, so it's okay. But
so far,
ooh, who knows? Have to tune in more times to know. But anyway, thank you all so much for listening to our podcast. If you want to follow us on social media, which we just talked about, we don't post enough, but maybe if you want to hop on there, we'll post more just for you.
We'll reply to you, is what it is.
Oh, for sure.
That's how you get us to post more. That's how you trick us.
Yeah. So I'm out of the flow. Here we go. All right. You can find us on social media at Make That Game Pod on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can email us, makethatgamepodcast@gmail.com. We love to hear from you. You can also find us on YouTube, youtube.com/@the@ Make That Game. And you can also find us on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/Make That Game. I'll cut this out if we don't, but we went live last Sunday, which is AGDQ. Tomorrow when we're recording this. But yes, because AGDQ is up and running, so we hope you're having a fun time watching speedruns if that's something you love. And then we'll do a kind of post AGDQ show as well next week. So anyway, if you heard a game today that you think you just need in this big wide world of ours, we encourage you to get out there and make
that game.